gonna get this thing going.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Doski Woski, the Peasky Weesky is free. It costs you nothing. It's implied. What's happening, y'all? Cowboy Nation, it's been a week or two. We've had things to do. The round table is back. We're going to come up with a fly-ass name. Chat box, y'all can be working on that if you like. Vach is in the building. Okoye, Fuss the King, Law Nation's up in here. What's happening, fellas?
What up?
What's up, Vosh? Thank you for having us, my brother.
I already know. Law,
What's
all
up,
week.
fam?
I feel like it's been a year, though.
In a minute. Plug yourself, Law.
Hey, man, you guys, y'all already know who this is. LAW Nation, man. Hey, guys, this is the official off-season, I guess, first talk track right here of the round table. So I'm ready for everybody 0-0.
That's it.
Sure, and we'll probably get this up on Okoye and Fuss's channel as well. Let me say this before we get started. Let me just set the plate. We're gonna be doing roster evaluations. I feel like when I was working out earlier, because Vegan Vosh does that these days.
Let's go, like, Vegan Vosh.
Vosh fancy now. He fancy.
I feel like we kind of sort of jumped the gun a little bit. Like we jumped straight in the draft and straight into who we are and are not paying, that we didn't even evaluate the roster properly, Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go position by position, not player by player. It's 53 of them. We ain't got all night. We got wives and babies and girlfriends. But we are going to touch on the big keys at each position. Before we do that, though, that's just what we're doing. But before we do that, I think I speak for all Cowboy Nation, everybody on this phone. Boy, if the damn Cowboys would have played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, we'd have did better than that.
Yes, indeed.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
I watched into the third quarter and I turned that shit off, man.
True. I watched it because I had an obligation to somebody I was watching with to watch it. But
I couldn't deal with it. Like Jared Goff disgusts me, man.
It was crass.
I was ready to tap out. I was ready to cut that PlayStation on, man. But hey, it is what it is. I think we'll come back. We'll come back next year and we'll be playing for that thing while Dak is still cheap. But tonight we're evaluating the daggum roster. We're gonna go position by position. I want to start off spicy. We ain't necessarily going in any order, but I did kind of think about this today, and I just wanted to run this for the cardio real fast. So I want to talk about running back. Me and Fuzz been kind of back and forth and about where do we draft the second running back, and the kind of thoughts behind it is, okay, we'll need somebody that can come in and be second running back that can probably play slot receiver, kick return, punt return guy, right?
Right.
I'm thinking, what if we move on from Zeke altogether? Are we sure Zeke's gonna be on this team forever, ever? You know what I'm saying? If you think about the people that we gotta pay,
right,
man, Coop got to get bread. Our franchise quarterback gonna have to get bread at some point. Jalen Smith and all those guys on defense, Byron and Tank, those guys gonna have to get bread. And dog, James White and Rex Burkhead just won a Super Bowl, fam. You know what I'm saying? C.J. Anderson was the more he was the better running back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm looking at running back as the first thing I want to break down here. I know we're looking for a second round running back. Right. A second running back, but are we drafting a guy for the future, or we're having a backup running back give us more leverage at the tables with Zeke when it's money time? Okoye,
let me jump in there, because I've been Vach, I've been beating on that door for a while now. I wouldn't go as far as to say let's get rid of Zeke, but I mean, listen, anything and everything is on the table when you're team building. You just got to discuss it, because a wise man told me, I love you, but my job is to replace you. So I think that once people kind of understand that, they can kind of understand how team building ultimately works. That being said, I love Rod Smith. I've seen enough. He just doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. There's no juice when he enters the game, right? So I don't think the defenses are scared. Now, will he break off a nice run? Sure, but do defenses fear Rod Smith? No, they do not. What you need in this league, you need two guys who can put the defense and put stress on the defense. And I think that Zeke, while he's good towards the end of the game, he just doesn't have that same juice, especially not as a pass catcher. So you need a guy who can come in, who can run a speed out and just put that 260-pound linebacker in stress. He can stress him out because he hasn't seen that speed all game. Because he not saying that Zeke doesn't have speed. Zeke has great play speed, but you guys get what I'm saying. So I think, and I want to, again, like Vash said, a guy with, that word that we hate, but that a guy with position flex, I think that would be huge. I really do.
Cool, yeah.
I mean, for me, I think obviously, it's a nice try. I'm thinking about like Herschel Walker, that trade, and what happened to for our team afterwards. But I don't see Jerry Jones partnering with Zeke anytime soon. So if we're married to Zeke, which we are, and I don't even think that's even up for discussion. I think Zeke's really our bell cow on offense.
Right.
We do need a scat back, like a Lance Dunbar type guy, I think.
A healthy one. Right.
Yeah, just to shake things up. But where you get them, I don't really think it matters where we get them and what round we go. And I don't think we go aggressively, though, at running back and just do away with Zeke altogether to try to save coins for everyone else. I think what they'll do is kind of Le'Veon Bell Zeke a little bit once we get to that. I think he'll be the one getting that franchise tag.
Let me ask you
Tony Pollard.
Go ahead. I'm here.
So if Zeke plays year 4, year 5, and then we franchise tag him, I feel like this wouldn't be a conversation. But I think the fact that we've heard Zeke trying to get paid now, or Zeke may hold out, I think that's what's really putting on my mind.
Hands down, if Zeke becomes any form of distraction beyond what he's already been, and I'm not saying he's like the biggest one we have, because there's others I named, a la David Irvin. But if Zeke, if he tries to hold out, especially right now where you have to figure out a way to pay Dak, you're going to have to pay Cooper if we didn't pay him already. We got to pay Byron. So there's other players that need to be. We got to pay Law. So I think if he holds out now, knowing what the pressure is on that front office, I think that's what you do. You Herschel Walker him, and you get the best thing you can get for him, the best slew of players that you can get for him. I don't think you need, especially if our line is what it was supposed to be, I don't think you need a premier back with this offensive line. I don't think you need one, because we're going to run the ball anyway. It doesn't matter who's doing it. To attack or defend, whichever way you guys want to put it, my man Rod Smith is like he runs like Eddie George, man. And I'm not trying to disrespect Eddie George while saying that. When I say I mean he's a tall, long, big guy. You can't judge him based off of 4 or 5 carries.
I agree there.
He's a guy that needs 30. So if Zeke were hurt, if Zeke were hurt, then I would agree with you if he was running like shit when Zeke's out. Last year when Zeke was out, Rod Smith looked great. And that's because he was getting the bulk of the carries. And as far as his ability to catch out the backfield, he's shown that too. He actually runs routes and has better hands than Zeke, if you ask me. So I like Rod. I think you leave him where he's at. I like Rod.
Well, this is the thing with
I just
Rod.
think we need a he's a good handcuff for Zeke, but he's not a change of pace. So we just need a change of pace guy. And I think they thought Tavon Austin was going to be that, which is why they didn't go after one. But I like Tavon out wide exclusively. He's not a running back unless he's running a jet sweep.
No doubt.
See, that's the thing. I don't think there's any way they keep Tavon on the roster just to do that, just to play wide out. Because
that's all he did this year. He
didn't even do that enough.
Then he can't stay healthy. So that's
exactly. That's my point. He didn't stay healthy. So you be better off going young there or doing something else. maybe a Cedric Wilson or something like that. But I don't think that me personally.
Cedric Wilson.
I don't think the
even,
Dallas Cowboys are gonna give Tavon Austin another contract to number one, play 6. Well, I don't even know the number of games he played. It wasn't a lot, and to affect the game like he did, which was not a lot either. At times it was cool. I think that Lucky Whitehead had more of an effect in his role than Tavon did, if we're being honest.
Lucky was healthier. Lucky was healthier.
Hey, your best ability is your availability. That's big. That was his problem in with the Rams.
Sure. Running back, what you think?
Well, back, what have you, whatever it may be with Tavon, he did win us that Giants game, or opened it up for us. I guess that week when everybody was like, "Oh man, Cowboys are trash." And remember, that was the game that everybody called out Dak Prescott in the offense. So what I'm saying is, what the Cowboys need to do is to answer that phone right there. Hey, what Will McClay about to say, man? That Will McClay. Tell Will McClay I said, what's up, man?
No, that's my boy. That's my boy. My bad.
No, you Gucci, man. But what I was about to say is that, yeah, I think that what the Dallas Cowboys may do is just like what the Saints did with Mark Ingram, I believe that's his name, right? They went and got a scat back, or a back that they thought that it was going to be a scat back, and Kamara was one of those guys that were like, wow, he blew up everything. What round was he drafted? Third or fourth?
Third, yeah.
So see, the thing is, we don't have that longitude or latitude because we don't have a first round draft pick, right? And it did in the second or third. So we might go with the fourth round draft pick of looking at a running back. But I know that this is not time for us to look at that part of the conversation until like probably weeks down the line. But what I can say is I agree with you, Okoye, Rod Smith. I think personally he can actually be a starting running back in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Yeah, but he got to be a guy that can run from 1, 2, and 3 quarters. You can't just throw him into the mix.
Nah, he's not a change pace guy. You got to give him the ball.
You got to give him the rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And last year he proved that in 2017. So for my thing is, or for my notion, for my small little mind, is that when they got Jameis Olawale, I'm sitting there like, they the same type of skill set. So one of these guys is going to have to be a hard cut if this team really evaluating this roster the way they're supposed to. One of them going to have to be a cut, in my opinion.
Jameis is more – they use him at fullback, though, so they can get away with that.
True that.
They can get away with 3 running backs in the fullback any day. They need to get rid of one of them damn tight ends. We got, 4 of them, though.
Well, goddamn, segue Jones. Let's just run right into that. I just dropped the film session. T.J. Hawkinson, my son, Foots' pet cat, the best tight end in the draft. Boy, I got excited about the idea of having T.J. Hawkinson on my team, and this is how I thought about it. I looked at what Iowa does with their team, and they got 3 tight ends that can play. You know what I mean? And they just move those guys all over the place. Sometimes Hawkinson out wide, sometimes Fant is out wide, sometimes they're both in line, sometimes they both at receiver, whatever. And they have such variety because their players can do so many multiple things. I look at what New England did on offense. They had multiple tight ends, multiple running backs on the field. Sometimes Gronk could be in line, Gronk could be at the X, their fullback could be in the slot or some shit like that, right? I would love for Dallas to do something along those lines, but we're back on tight end for this one particular segment here. So Swain contract year or whatever, Blake Jarwin, 1 game, 3 touchdowns, whatever kind of came on earlier towards the end of the year. Dalton Schultz had a rookie campaign. I feel like he got better towards the end of it. We're going to give him a protein shake, peanut butter sandwich, and a dumbbell. Maybe he'll blow up and be a little better. Are we sold with these tight ends? Do we have to get more help? I watched some of these tight ends in this draft, and boy, do I get excited. Are y'all good with the guys that we have? Foots, go first. You went first last time.
Hold on. I could go. Go first.
Let's go first again.
Go first.
I think the biggest thing is because I love T.J. Hawkinson, like Bob said.
You stopped here.
And I like him better than Noah Fant. I think Noah Fant's probably more athletic, but for what Dallas does, I mean, I would trade up, honestly. I was battling with that today, and I think he's that good because he's all of the guys we have in one, and he's already better. He's plug and play. I think he's better than Dallas Goedert, just because he's that tough at the point. And so now that end that you couldn't seal last year, you can seal this year. All right. And I mean, he's just what you want in a football player, because sometimes with those guys that you got to ask to block, like, let's be honest, Blake Jarwin, he's not going to block anybody. Schultz did it in college and was in for a rude awakening in the league. But you see TJ Hawkinson going up against some of the best in the Big Ten and really holding his own. Not to mention, he's not as dynamic as Noah Fant, but it's like 1A, 1B, route running, crisp, awareness, crisp, run after catch, crisp. Hands. I don't think I didn't see him drop a pass.
Nikes, man. He's selling sneakers.
I didn't see him drop a pass, Botch.
Just one.
And I watched it. I seriously watched like 5 games of his, and not highlights, but I'm talking about like game.
I think in the Mississippi State game he had like that's all.
But he's tough. I mean, he's just tough. So that's my thing. And but as far as the tight ends on our roster go, I think the problem is they're all. I wouldn't say they're all similar, but like if Jarwin was more consistent, I'd be like, okay, but he has to be consistent. And maybe it's how they were using him. I don't know. But that's kind of my.
So do you put a placeholder on Jarwin, or do you say to yourself, okay, I saw some improvement toward the latter part, and do you account? And I'm not, trust me, Cowboy Nation, I'm not putting Dak Prescott under the bus, but do you account the aspect of Dak Prescott developing throughout the year, becoming better through his anticipation and read, and then also finding and finally utilizing the seam and vertical seam routes with the tight end, because it was always there. Do you account some of that into the picture?
Well, they rookies though, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's making me say I don't necessarily have to go get a tight end, because mostly tight ends get better in their second and third years. OJ Howard's rookie year wasn't that great. George Kittle's rookie year wasn't that great, but then the next year they look amazing because they just got to eat a peanut butter sandwich one time, you know? Right. So I do think that Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz, I think they'll be fine. I think Rico gathers about the paint. You know, we probably ain't got to have another offseason conversation about him, but the problem is that Swain is in a contract year, and it's easier to pay Swain rookie money than to try to decide what we gonna pay Swain. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think he's about the paint. I do think drafting a tight end is appropriate at some point, but I don't think it's a priority necessarily. What you think, Koya?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the way we use our tight ends right now, I mean, obviously, if you have a dynamic tight end, things change, but we don't, and I don't see us going after one either. So moving up in the draft, I mean, I doubt it, maybe, but I like what Jarwin was doing at the end of the year. I like what he was doing at the beginning of the year. If we were to throw the ball, so I mean, giving Jarwin another shot this year and seeing what Schultz can do. Like you said, with some added weight because he's a little light in the ass, but seeing what he can do now, I'm comfortable with that. Just throwing somebody else as a third tight end in the mix, or even moving one of our line over as a spare tight end like Seattle does, and keeping just 2 on the roster if they can stay healthy. I don't mind that. Like I'm not really thinking that we are going after any form of dynamic tight ends because we're a run first team. So unless you can get a tight end that can block and you know, it's like a Kelsey or a Ertz is okay, but you know, you need a guy like that can really stick his head in there, but still go out and run routes as well. And I don't see that happening. I mean, but we're not gonna move up to get him though. You know what I'm saying? I don't see us doing it.
I just want the weed to fall out of his pocket so bad.
Yeah. If that happened, then we good. If he falls,
I need him to just have a gun under his seat.
But I don't see us
get him. I just need something from that guy. Law, did you have a point on tight ends that you ain't say at first?
No, I'm just saying that, hey, you know, it may be a positioning that we don't go draft early in, you know. But although, hey, the tight end is like the third hardest position to learn in the NFL, it's going to be growing pains regardless whoever we pick up. That's just my only notion of this thing. And we saw Mark Ingram, not Mark Ingram. What's that kid that played for the Giants? Quick, fast Ingram. That's his name, actually. Huh?
Yeah,
Okay, shit. Hey, he did play. He started playing Evan Ingrams. Yeah, he played better towards the latter part. I had a Stephen A. Smith moment. He played better towards the latter part of the year for the Giants. So I'm looking at it from that aspect too.
Yeah.
I just need that boy to rob a bank or something so he can just something so we can be close to getting
that.
Whatever.
I mean, I think tight end is a sneaky position, though. I think it's a sneaky position. I'm telling Cowboys fans, tight end, safety, and I don't think the Cowboys are going to draft it. This isn't draft talk. Let me stop.
Roster evaluation, but I give the tight end as a collective group a C plus.
Man, like I said, the biggest thing with me, I think Rico. I want to see Rico gone, not because I don't like Rico. I want Rico to land somewhere where they're actually going to use him and give him a shot. Because I think we have that tight end that we're looking for on this team, and his name's not Blake Jarwin.
But what if Kellen Moore use him though, Koye? What if Kellen Moore used Rico right?
I would love that. Rico got hands. It's undeniable. He got undeniable hands, and the bull is 290. And every time I've seen him block this year, now he might have whiffed on a few, but every time I've seen him actually engage, I'm not talking about his mental side of it because he's still learning, but his physical aspects. When he get his hands on you and block you, he holds up. He hold up. He like having a lineman in there. So if you got a guy like Rico that's a mismatch for any safety or corner or linebacker in there, I like us at tight end already. I don't think we need to jump out there because we have a pet project that I don't think we're finished investing in. And to give up on it now would be, to me, it's like you just wasted our time for the last couple of years because y'all didn't even throw the kid the ball. You know, look at what's his name, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates was never a hell of a blocker, but I think if you were to school or coach Rico up the way he's supposed to be coached up. And I don't really even see anything really wrong with him, but you're not in the huddle with him, so you don't know if he was supposed to run a dig on this play and didn't really understand the verbiage or whatever. Keep getting him pulled out of game. We don't know.
I think that's it. I think you hit that on the head, Okoye.
He may not be where he needs to be, but
I don't think it's his ability. It's
between the ears.
Yeah.
I think so. And I'm not trying to call him dumb. I'm just saying I physically I don't see why you wouldn't put him on the field. So either it was a Scott Linehan thing and he just rubbed people the wrong way, and that's why he didn't get on the field, or he's just having a problem with the learning curve. And I think it's the former. Or the latter, should I say.
There are two names that Cowboys fans have been trying to get out the paint over this offseason. I'm not necessarily buying that. Antoine Woods and Taco Charlton. They're like Cowboys fans are really doing their best to try to get those two guys out the paint. And I feel like
Antoine Woods.
Yes, sir.
Who trying to get rid of Antoine Woods?
Man, you should see the rapscallions in these damn comment sections and Twitter. What I be saying, but we just get this out. I'm gonna let you rock.
My bad.
Now you good? I feel the same way. Taco, first of all, it's hard to get on the field because Randy Gregory is a gangster. First of all, right?
No doubt.
But Taco may develop. It may take him longer to develop than other players. You know what I mean? Took D-Law a while, and maybe Taco played more. Maybe he'll have more numbers. I'm not giving up on him yet. I still think Taco is going to be the next David Irvin. I've been saying that since preseason last year. And Antoine Woods, it's funny how he has two bad games all year. The damn Colts and the Rams. Two bad games all year. Now all of a sudden, people trying to get Antoine Woods about the paint. And I know it's people in my chat box right now that have seen people try to get Antoine at the paint, which is interesting to me. Now, am I saying we don't need D-line help? I'm not saying that because a lot of guys are leaving the free agency. I would like a good rotation. Karan Reed is cool. I would like a gangster on the field when Antoine Woods comes off. Malik Collins kind of gets hurt every now and then, you know what I'm saying? So we don't really know what he's going to do. David Irvin, So there is a D-line problem. Where you want to draft them, it's kind of up to you. Okoye, seems like you was about to get in somebody's ass about somebody's Antoine Woods opinion. Let us have it.
Give it to us.
I mean, it ain't much to say. Like anybody out there who represents the Cowboys and think we need to get rid of Antoine Woods is, asshole. I don't want to say retarded, but I just said it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
he said it.
it don't make no sense, man. I'm just sorry, it just don't. It don't make no sense. Like Antoine Woods is he a beast, man. I think you need to team him up with somebody that can spell him a little bit. I don't want it to be Collins because, like you said, Collins keeps getting hurt, and I think it's because he has to play one tech sometimes, and he does a lot of sacrificing anyway.
Let me ask you a question, Okoye, before you go into your wonderful soliloquy right there.
Go ahead. Soliloquy. I like it.
Let me ask you this right here.
The Harvard words and shit.
I elucidated it long enough.
Go ahead, Lon.
Hey, this is the thing right here. What do you think about Gerald McCoy alongside of A. Collins or Gerald McCoy alongside of Antoine Barbecue Woods? What do you think about that?
Can I answer that?
Enough people.
We got enough money. We got money. We got tons of money.
So that's my thing. You got to figure out what are we paying Gerald McCoy? Because I feel like McCoy is gonna still think he can play.
Sure.
And I like the way you think, Law, but you got to understand this team. They like to go with they like to dig when it comes to their
pieces. We ain't going after Jared McCoy.
I can't wait till I get the safety so we can ask about paying that dude. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think we paying that dude.
I don't think we are either.
I like him though, but I think him being present, him on the field as much as he needs to be on the field, he would mess up the rotation that we already have. To be honest with you, because you won't be seeing Crawford in the inside as often. You'll see Woods out there. Collins might get in, but then after that, it's a wrap. McCoy's going to be on the field, and I don't think that's having Collins or Crawford play is a far drop off. And don't jump down my throat. I know Jerry McCoy's a Pro Bowler. He's a beast. Love him, but I like the rotation that we use rather than having that one anchor player because. I don't know. I just like the way our line's been playing for the last year or so. I like having fresh guys out there. Like that Eagles approach, sort of like the Patriots with wide receivers. We're that way with defensive linemen because we have Rob Marinelli and we can develop them. So we can squeeze juice out of rocks when it comes to our defensive linemen.
Let me ask you this then.
We don't spend big money there. I just don't see us spending.
Let me ask you this, Okoye. Let me ask you this right quick. We win that Rams game if we had David Irvin. Do you agree? Do we shut down? Do we make them one-dimensional at least? Do we stop? Do we plug that run? Do you use that length, that strength? Do you shoot the gaps a little bit better?
I don't think it was physical in that game, though. I think it was mental.
But do you have more physicality in that game?
No. So let me jump in
because I'm trying to paint a picture.
We were doing like it was just a lot of misses. We were missing those plays.
Whoa! Let me jump in. Mm-hmm. I think Okoye spot on, Law. The problem is you got out schemed, and it wasn't. So you got to be careful overreacting to one game.
And I don't even think that too, though, Fuzz, because I think if we don't get moved up front, I still think we can run to the football.
No. It wasn't that we weren't getting moved.
No, we were getting moved.
No. We weren't shooting our gaps correctly. If you go watch the way that the Patriots rushed against the Rams.
Right.
They weren't even honoring
the jet sweep.
Yeah, they weren't honoring any of that. They moved straight. They didn't slant.
Nope.
It's like the Cowboys kept slanting their rushes, and all they were doing
that's what we do though. We're a stunt and twist team.
Crawford wasn't going to get no depth, and Antoine Barbecue Woods, he needed to be a rotational guy at that game. So what I'm saying collectively, if you have a Jared McCoy or if you have a David Irvin who's supposed to be on our team, we would have had a better chance. We only lost by 8 freaking points. I think that number 35 wouldn't get all those yards that he got, But
got the smartest chat box on YouTube, and they about to tell you the 2 things you got to do to run inside zone effectively. They gonna tell you, and the Rams did both of You got to move A gap. You got to block the Mike linebacker. Both our linebackers been blocked more than they ever been that game.
No,
sure, the motion was a thing, and that kind of did put guys in the spot. But if we played better in A gap, that shit wouldn't matter because the penetration would just blow the whole play up.
No, but whoa, wait a minute. That when I say scheme thing, you gotta understand it was a scheme problem with the whole defense. Okay, what did the Patriots do? This is why I love Bill Belichick. He said, we're not going to honor these fakes whatsoever.
Sure.
And it was one of those situations where you watching the game, Sean McVay continually running these long development play actions, and the defensive ends didn't even honor it. They didn't honor the flash. They didn't honor any of it.
That's the one game it didn't work, neither.
But you're right. You absolutely,
it didn't work.
Absolutely right. So my thing is, no, I agree with what you're talking about. The A gap was, gotcha. we were getting washed. It was bad.
Sure.
But I also think that it's a lot of components into that just getting a plugger, because I'm telling you too, you got to be careful of that just having a plugger. That's why Danny Shelton is in New England now, because the team that originally drafted him, he couldn't stay on the field because he was out of shape all the time. So these pluggers, and if it has to work and it has to make sense within that rotation. But no, I see what you're saying, Law. Absolutely.
Right. Because Jerry McCoy, he's not like a sloppy 320. Jerry McCoy, he's like 303, 310 at most.
But I don't see that making a difference. Not Jerry McCoy, but Irving. Because Irvin's he's not a run stuffer for us. He can stop the run on the way to the quarterback, but he's not. It wasn't like Goff was the one who killed us. It was the running game.
Let me ask you this:
he's not a one-tech guy that's going to plug it up anyway. He's a slasher.
Let me ask you this:
McCoy really wasn't lighting up in Tampa Bay the last three years or so.
I was about to say that was my biggest point. Can he still play?
He's not playing the side along with. He don't have. Do they have a D-Law on that line? Do they have a Randy Gregory? Do they have a? Come on,
boy, Noah Spencer, Jason Pierre-Paul, dog. They got all the guys.
Bruh, they don't.
And they got the fat kid from Washington.
They don't hold a candle to D-Law.
All the guys.
Who would you rather have, Noah Spence or Randy Gregory? Noah Spence or JPP or however VPP cut his hand off, or D-Law?
It's JP now. He's not JPP.
Noah Spence is a gangster. But I feel you though. Go ahead, Lon.
But I'm saying like the one-on-ones. Yeah, you win your battles one-on-ones. That's what I'm thinking that what McCoy would bring. Now, let me ask you this: you guys remember when we played, and this is a while back, when we played the Packers in 2016? That game David Irvin played against Eddie Lacy, what have you, who was a Cowboy killer. Did he shut him down?
I don't like playing football math, man, because every situation is different.
But I'm saying that David Irvin is low key underrated as it relates to just stopping that run, and that's all I'm saying.
No, he's stopping on the way to the quarterback, but he's not like he's not like what you call Snacks Harris out there.
He's not a Sue
and
a Donald,
Antoine Woods out there. He's not doing that type shit.
This my whole thing though. This my whole thing. I heard that man been healthy. I heard that man foot been stop hurt. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
How bad you trying to get back? Like Sean Lee couldn't wait to get back to this thing. You know what I'm saying? We saw him working every day to get back to this thing. Somebody that watched the show, like somebody in the comment section, they sent me something to my Instagram, dog. David Irvin talked to them on Instagram. He say, "Man, I'm at the house chilling, dog. For real? You ain't fighting to get back. You ain't on the cords with Ben Bloom. What you doing?
Mm-hmm.
The house sipping lemonade with stevia. Come on, my guy. A playoff game can't get you off the couch.
You said David Irvin drinks stevia.
2 playoff games can't get you off the couch. That's somebody I can't rely on. I was just doing Senior Bowl coverage. The kid Tillery from Notre Dame, he didn't go to the Senior Bowl. They want to know why. Are you hurt? You had an obligation? He ain't feel like going. That's not a football guy. I want football guys.
That's big though, Botch. You ain't lying.
You can get David up out of here, dog. He's a fantastic player. Nothing makes me smile more. Nothing makes my teeth whiter than David Irvin smacking Aaron Rodgers in the mouth 5 times and doing the goofy ass Super Bowl Superman stance. But he only did that shit against the Packers, and I ain't seen him since.
Mm-hmm.
Get him out the paint. Draft me a guy, man.
Right. That's why you draft. You ain't lying.
Moving on.
Hit him with the soldier boy. David Irvin. David Irvin. What?
I'm moving on, man. Let's go to a lighter-hearted topic before we get into some big shit. Is Brett Maher is Brett? Will y'all stop it? You gotta Tiger.
The man that tried to hide his kid from the world, but the world knows who all his kid. Drake.
Oh, you better shut up. You shut your mouth.
That was classic.
Had a kid from the world, but hey, but I went for the kid. Well, y'all stop it so I can talk about Brett Maher. Listen,
Matt Bryan, baby. Go ahead.
Bryan. Hey, I was legitimately talking to Lieutenant Dan from Unintentional Grounding. Salute to him. He's my Falcons guy. He's been trying to give us all the Falcons players that they cut because he think Cowboys are big players in free agency, but I have to teach him. I do think Matt Bryant at kicker is interesting.
Oh,
free agency wise, I do think that's a thing. I don't think we're so we paid what's our last guy that played for Minnesota now that I forgot about so quick?
Dan Bailey.
We paid Dan Bailey because he was automatic. You know what I mean? And I feel like Matt Bryant only missed one field goal this year, you know? So I do think the Cowboys will put money on a kicker if the kicker's, automatica. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I saw somebody in my chat box say Matt Bryant old, but damn, can he make the field goal? He ain't getting hit. Shit, Vinatieri about to be 47 still.
Yeah, I like Matt Brown, but I think Maher played well though. I think he played pretty good.
Hey, this is the thing that our proposition. Get Matt Bryan for any kick that's like 35 yards and close to the goal line, and then just use Brett Maher 45 yards and beyond, and we got to win the solution.
I feel you, but there's a couple reasons why I said it about Brett. Not just his kicking and kicking field goals, extra points or whatever, but it's a couple of these kickoffs where they not going out the back of the end zone. Like guys actually return kicks on us this year, and that kind of put our defense in certain, handicapped us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And it's plenty of times we Cowboys fans, we watch all the games where when Brett Maher trot out there, we go, oh shit, we on the right hash.
We don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, it ain't automatic.
I think we would pay for a peace of mind at the kicker position.
I mean, nobody's arguing for no kicker though. So if somebody went and said, "Oh, except for Dan Bailey," I did argue for him last year. But if somebody said, "Hey, bring Bryant in or anybody, Robbie Gold, anybody that can give us some consistency back there," I'm good with it. I'm not gonna argue over Maher. Like if he here, until he start tackling and playing safety, I can give two shits what Maher does. Make your kicks and sit your ass down. Excuse me, French.
Foots.
Man, Maher, he just like annoying, yeah. If he would miss some jimmies, dog.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna hold you.
He was. And that's why he's on the paper, Foots. If it was automatic, I wouldn't have put him there. But
nah, for real.
Some of these games, and knowing our team, I mean, we like to make the fight a little more fantastic, like Gotenk say. We don't blow people out. We in a lot of close games, and if we lose a game, we'll lose it by 3 or 5 or so points. I think all these points we trying to accumulate, I think they all matter. If we're a team that gets to the red zone but can't necessarily score, boy, I hate to miss those points.
Yeah.
So I think that's something to address. Law.
Hey, man. Hey.
Somebody said Maher got that choke face. Maher got that choke face too. That he was born with a choke face. Huh?
It just looked like he choked, huh? But we'll see though, man. I want competition. Still, iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel. So we'll see around the time when it's needed to see what we can figure out about the kicker situation.
Yeah, it's gonna work itself out.
It's gonna work its way out. That's all I look at it.
Well, that's the easy one. Let's get to the other easy one to get that out the way. Dak Prescott and his backups. I think we're going to have to address the Cooper versus Mike White thing. I think that's gonna have to be a conversation because they're the same guy. We can't be developing both of them.
It's gonna be Mike White.
I totally agree.
His football IQ too crazy, man. Boy,
I love Mike White.
And he got arm talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he hit that goal post last year and made Dak look crazy. Y'all saw that.
He did. Yeah, he did. So I do think Cooper Rush is going to get about the paint at some point, even though there are ignorant Cowboy fans that think that Cooper Rush should be the starting quarterback over Dak Prescott. That's why I don't have a lot of faith in these damn chat box fans. Not y'all, because I got the greatest chat box in the world. But in law chat box, they be talking about
they be talking that bullshit on law.
Law.
Cooper Trooper, baby. Cooper for MVP.
But over in law chat box, they be acting like they want Cooper start. I can't stand that. So I do think one of those guys will get cut at some point. And even if it saves a roster spot, just have a dedicated second guy. As far as Dak, I think Dak gets his money. And John Kitna will help. I'm excited about Kellen Moore, so I ain't got no quarrels about Dak. This is another easy one for me. This easy for y'all? Y'all good?
Hey, but before we go into that details of it, Nick Foles, they won a 3rd round draft pick for him.
I'm good. I don't want them. Good.
I'm good, man. He said it like he just offered him crackers, so he's I'm good, man.
And they said
I'm partaking.
If Will Greer is there, that was everybody hitting me up in my chat box and all that. Will Greer. If he's there the 2nd round, do you snatch him?
I like the Knicks. I like Nick Foles, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like that move and then get rid of White and Rush. I would do that because that would be Kitna and Nick Foles behind Dak in his ear teaching him. You know what I mean? So I would like that.
There ain't no way the Cowboys getting.
I would love that.
I know. I feel you, but our fans, bro. The first bad play this man Dak had.
No.
Bring Nick Foles here. We can go to Super Bowl like Philly.
Where the fuck is Nick Foles at?
Right.
It'd be week 1, 15 minutes and 14 minutes and 37 seconds left in the first quarter, and they'd be like, "Where the fuck is Foles at?"
I'm gonna be real with y'all. And I was telling my man this the other day. Listen. Mm-hmm. One thing, yes, Wentz got all the arm talent in the world. Wentz injury prone, yo. And another thing about Wentz,
Fumbleia. Go ahead. He loved to fumble that ball. Go ahead.
One more thing about Wentz that I'm gonna really keep my eye on. He get kind of antsy in games. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure about him as a leader. I never really understood that leadership thing until I started to see guys like Foles and the way that Philly kind of take the Foles and the way that he maneuver more or less. And even with that, but I like Wentz. But I'm just saying though, I want to see how things move forward in Philly. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, outside of Philly talk, man, do you bring in a veteran like a Teddy, or do you bring in one of those veterans to challenge Mike White and Cooper Rush for that backup position, and also put a little heat under Dak?
I think no, because no matter how much we like, that fantasy conversation of having Foles behind us, it looks like they've committed to developing young quarterbacks, right? So if you're going to start off developing these young quarterbacks, unless it's like, a quarterback out there that's too good to be true, or God forbid something happened to our number one guy, you need one. You leave it alone and you keep developing the guys that you brought in here to develop. You decide which one of them is worth investing in, and you get rid of the other one. And I think, like we said, it's going to be Mike White over Rush. But I think you have to, at this point, see what you have in Mike White. Otherwise, why the hell you draft him?
Yeah, that's true.
True that.
Hey, who is Andrew Dominguez? He a troll on your page, Voch?
I don't have trolls on my page.
Dominguez.
Okay. He just said Dak arm trash. I like the way Dak played towards the end of the year.
I don't think he's troll. I just think he's maybe just a bit uninformed or so. I don't know.
Maybe he's an entertainer.
But I will say this. Let me just take time out to say, everybody in the chat box right now, clap it up, drop it down, clap emoji for my wife that's in the chat box regulating. You see, we don't have no trash in my damn chat box because she's done the work. She's put forth the effort of cleaning in the chat box up. That's why it's so pleasant in that damn
Hey,
thing.
Nene.
Nene, would y'all clap emojis in there cleaning my damn chat box up? Thank you so much.
Hey, Nene.
Hey, man, that's enough, man.
You hear him, Nene.
That's enough.
You said clap up with Nene.
That's enough now.
Hello, Nene.
Put the voice on again, Lord. Put it on again. You said hello.
Hello. Lord, don't let Okoye break up a good friendship.
Regulate, Nene.
Wait a minute, y'all.
I ain't gonna touch Nene.
Mount up.
Regulator.
Mount
up.
Right there. Funny. Y'all want to get into some controversy or something that might make us fuss with each other?
Why not?
Why not?
Y'all trying to kick my man Sean Lee off the bridge, dog?
Ah, man. That's a tough one, man.
What about Sean Lee, man?
Spinning turn kick.
I can't get through another season of Sean Lee inconsistency, though. You know what I'm saying? I like Sean Lee a lot. You already know that. But now that we're off, to the off season, I'd rather see Sean Lee transition into a coach, to be honest with you, because I don't see him getting through an entire season. And if he's not getting through an entire season, if you guys ask yourself, like, do you see Sean Lee making it through the entire season? And that answer is no. Then any time he sees on the field is just holding back the development of whoever's playing behind him. So I don't want to see him.
Are you saying Foots won, Okoye? Is that what you saying?
Hell no, Foots ain't win. He ain't win during the season. During the off season though, like now you have a whole season ahead of you, and you have a LVE with a full year under his belt already, and you have a Joe Thomas who I love.
Actually, I did win because I told y'all that
I knew he was coming.
You told Okoye. I was with you, Foots. Go ahead.
I told y'all.
I'm with Okoye. I just let him be a coach, man.
Yeah, I would love it.
They did it with the steroid guy down there in Texans, Brian Cushing, right?
Cushing. Brian Cushing's whatever. Cushing. There it is.
They said, you know what? We just gonna make, and then they made him the strength and conditioning coach. But hey,
damn weight room coach. Can't nobody keep up with him. He on steroid.
It'd be like the program. It'd be like last year he was 150 pounds. Came back after summer, he 290 pounds, all muscle. Remember that on the program?
Man,
the Texans all gonna look like that next year.
I just can honestly say, like, it's kind of sad knowing that we never really saw Sean Lee full potential. Like,
we did.
But you know what, Foots, before you go into that, you know who I liked more than Sean Lee, even though he didn't play to the level of Sean Lee, and they just got rid of him, and even though I saw him getting a little sparks, and I think that with this defense he would have blossomed a little bit more, was Bruce Carter. I liked his skill set out there.
His knee was.
So, hey, you want to know something?
Talk to me.
I think he was a better athlete than Sean. The problem with Bruce was
his knee.
Yeah. And he So the difference. All right, watch this. The difference between Bruce Carter and Sean was Sean. His
Bob's ready to go home, but go ahead, man. I'm not disrespecting Sean Lee.
So here's the difference.
Bruce wasn't on the field either. I want to hear what you got to say.
Watch it. If Jalen has the potential to be better than like a combination of both and better.
There you go.
Because Bruce Carter, exactly. Somebody just said in the chat, and that's kind of where I was getting like. Bruce Carter looked the part, but like Sean Lee's diagnosis. I mean, he was just. I'll never forget that Philly game when we played Murray for the first time. It was almost like Sean Lee had the playbook. I'll never forget that game.
It's like that every game.
He had like 5 tackles for loss, young, in like the first half. It's crazy.
Well, listen, I'll tell y'all this though, right? The one thing that we were reversed on was which game Sean Lee should have played in the playoffs and which one he should have sat his ass down in. I was arguing for Seattle. But in the Rams game, if you watch the drives that Sean Lee was in on, he actually played a lot better than LVE and Jalen actually in that game. So if you were,
he don't fall forgiveness?
Yeah, he played them. Yeah. He don't deserve another starting position going into the season. But I just wanted to throw that one in there since Foots definitely won the war. But that battle, I won that battle.
Hey, you big bro. You was supposed for rapid fire. But hey, all in all though, seriously, I mean, I just don't think that we ever saw Sean like, damn, that's kind of.
Why you keep thinking that though? Like Sean Lee, we were calling this man, and I'm one of them. I think Sean Lee, when he's healthy, is one of the, if not the best linebacker in the league. Period.
But I don't think the league. Maybe it's I don't.
That's not underrated. That's real shit.
But see, nah, I can't even say that though. I mean, Vosh, because of Koya, because if we did, then we probably would have been in better positions. Like, what year was that? Was that 20? What year was that? But like, it was every game that Sean was out, we lost. Every game he was in, we won.
17.
My whole thing is that was 17. My whole thing is Sean. He had that type of an impact on our defense. He was that good. Like Luke Kuechly is what Sean Lee was supposed to be.
Sure.
And you even saw Luke Kuechly really helped Carolina. Huh?
Luke Kuechly is what Sean Lee is. They're the same guy. Like Luke Kuechly get hurt just as much.
No, he don't. Stop. Man. Luke Kuechly, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And Luke Kuechly's a little bit better.
He one gust to win away from another concussion.
No. Luke Kuechly, wait a minute. I've been having this argument for years. Luke Kuechly.
I know, because he been getting hurt for years.
No, he hasn't. Luke Kuechly came in the league with grown men and was AP Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. This kid was a freak. Sure. Luke Kuechly is a dog.
Yeah, he's physically better.
And he carried that Carolina defense to a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Like at the end of the day, Sean didn't have really, like, he had that impact, but he never really was in those.
You know what Sean didn't have, man? He didn't have a 250-pound, 6'6" quarterback that was having an MVP year that year. That's what he didn't have. That's it. I ain't see Luke Kuechly throwing no passes, bro. I ain't see him Supermaning into the end zone.
If we talking about Luke and Sean, there's no comparison.
Damn.
What? Why not?
Because Luke Kuechly's a better player. Not even close. He got way more.
He's very close. Is very, very close.
Wow.
Sean Lee is elite, but he lays down and go ouch. But Sean Lee is as elite as it gets, though.
As it comes.
No,
I've never seen Luke Kuechly. Okay, we can disagree. One thing Luke Kuechly had the entire time he's been in the league, hands down, is a motherfucking Thomas Davis, bro. He had Thomas Davis to clean up all of his messes and to teach him. You got a coach right there on the field with him. Right there.
Let me see if I can solve this debate. Okay. You on life support. You on life support, Koye.
You got Shaq Thompson.
You on life support. You got two guys you got to pick to make one tackle. Sean Lee or Luke Kuechly to make one tackle. Who would you going to pick?
Talking about tackle. If I want to say.
Hold on, wait a minute. They drafted Sean. They drafted Shaq Thompson way after they drafted Luke Kuechly.
What you mean?
What do you mean?
I said what Luke Kuechly has on his team right now. Their body.
So in 2012, Luke Kuechly was the Rookie of the Year. In 2013, he was Defensive Player of the Year. So that means
what year did he play without Thomas Davis?
He was a 22-year-old Defensive Player of the Year.
Name the year.
That's pretty great. He's 22 years old. He's 22 years old playing against grown men. Somebody really just said Luke is a product of the system. Are you serious?
How do you know he's not in the same system his whole career? What are you talking about? There's no way to know, right?
No. Somebody just said Luke Kuechly had Norman and Davis. Dog. Josh Norman
played well in all of them.
Huh?
Sean Lee's played well in every system we've introduced to him, man. He been an elite level linebacker since he's been in this league.
And so is Luke. He was defensive.
My point is, don't come in here and hype up Luke like Luke is like carrying it on his own, and Sean Lee's just like his carrying his bag or something.
Yo,
hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. How you gonna bring up Josh Norman in the chat box when the team that drafted him let him go? They didn't want to pay him.
Listen,
Josh Norman is definitely a system player.
Okay, Foots. Listen,
let's stay here. Let's stay here, please.
We are. But listen, Foots. He's not saying that Luke is bad or worse than Sean Lee.
I'm saying Lee ain't trash. Stop
as elite.
Okay, so we got a 6-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first time. Hold on. Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute.
6-time Pro Bowler.
Huh?
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear this.
5-time first.
I'm gonna kill you with this argument because you just
what argument do you
murder
have?
you now. Go ahead.
I don't even want to talk about Pro Bowls. You can watch.
Don't talk about Pro Bowls.
Let's talk about All Pro. Let's talk about being an All Pro.
I don't want to talk about that. You can look at the film first. We don't need to.
Hold on. So Vach, answer me this. He was drafted. Answer me this. So answer me this. He was drafted in 2012, correct?
We ain't asked about his biology, bro.
But I'm about to. It's not about talking about biology. I'm giving you facts.
Let's hear it.
Facts for a second.
Facts at?
So all right, so here go the facts. I'm about to give them to you. He only missed the Pro Bowl once.
Sure.
So he only missed. Hold on, wait a minute. He only missed being an All Pro once, bro. That's special.
Sure.
In 2012, he was Rookie of the Year. So what are we talking about right now?
What he
got? Can I say this? Luke Kuechly is more decorated than Sean Lee.
He's a better player.
Luke Kuechly is a better player than Sean Lee. What I'm saying, what I think Okoye is saying is that Sean Lee is as elite, though. That's what we're saying.
Right.
So watch this.
Luke can play more games.
You said Luke Kuechly is what Sean Lee was supposed to be. Like Sean Lee was a bust or something. That's what
no. I'm not saying he's a bust, but watch this, guys. Watch this. You got it. We throw around that word elite kind of loosely. It's a difference. No. Yes, we do. Because let me tell you something. It's a lot of the Redskins thought Josh Norman was elite, and they made a big mistake. You got to understand. There's only a couple elite players in this league.
All right, but Sean Lee happens to be one of them, though.
Nah,
you can count that counts out, bro. Listen,
you know why Sean Lee's not elite?
Multiple games.
One at a time.
It's only 57 snaps in the game, bro. I've seen.
No.
Yes, man.
Your availability.
One time. First, let him go. One at a time.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead. On numerous occasions, right? Numerous occasions here. You understand? Sean Lee has amassed or affected more than 40% of the plays that he's been in on. 40% of the entire game has been affected by this man on numerous occasions. He played the Giants and had 22. That's just tackles against the Giants in 2016 or 2015 maybe. But 22 tackles, but that wasn't all of the snaps that he affected. They're not talking about passes, defense, successful coverages, things where the ball doesn't even go his way because he kept to his assignment. So that's even more than 40% in that particular game, right? Then the year before last year against Seattle, out of 57 snaps, man, 57 snaps, he made like 19, 20 plays out of 57 snaps. He did it against the Giants too. Like, that's ridiculousness, bro. So if you say, yeah, we use elite loosely, you might be right when we talking about people like David Irving, right? Something like that. But when you mention it, when it comes to Sean Lee, it's no way you can say you're just throwing elite around loosely just because they don't have Pro Bowls. I don't think there's not one defensive coordinator who wouldn't take a healthy Sean Lee or a Luke Kuechly. I don't think they're like, man, please give me Luke because I don't know about that Sean, man. Nah, if you're talking about health, then you got a different argument. But if you're talking about two healthy guys on that field, you can't tell me that Sean Lee got to take a backseat to no.
All right.
All right. So let's look at this before we.
Can I go? Is it my turn? Because apparently,
go ahead.
I've been listening.
Go ahead, Fliss.
So apparently in the chat, I talk too much. So because Bama's really got, and I'm laughing right now because it's funny, but Bama's really got to understand what I'm saying. You can't go off what ifs. We got to go off what we've seen, and we got to go off what we know. The fact of the matter is, bruh, Carolina's not trying to replace not trying to replace Luke Kuechly right now. We had to replace Sean Lee. Why? Because he was a great player. Luke Kuechly is a Hall of Fame player. There's a difference.
You had to replace Sean Lee because Sean Lee is old now.
Bruh, do you know when he was drafted? When was Sean Lee drafted?
2010 with Des
Bryant.
Bryant.
That's not old, bruh. I watched London Fletcher play for 15 years, linebacker.
How many people play for 15 years in this league?
But bruh, that's what makes you elite, though. Like, you got to understand.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Pat Willis.
All right. Let me pull up the stats. I got the stats right here. All right, so let's look at this right here before you guys go a little bit further. I got Luke Kuechly. He played 102 games. I got Sean Lee. He played 93 games. Okay, with that being said, we're going to look at the interception total. Luke Kuechly got 16 interceptions. Sean Lee got 13 interceptions. Keep in mind, Sean Lee played 93 games. Sean Lee got 2 touchdowns. Luke Kuechly got 1 touchdown collectively. But if you want to look at the difference between Luke Kuechly and Sean Lee, they got here, Luke Kuechly got 12.5 sacks and Sean Lee got 3 sacks in his total career. Luke Kuechly got 7 forced fumbles. Sean Lee got 2. Now, these are 2 different type of systems, but you guys can go and continue to have this debate. Go ahead.
All right. All I want to know is, can I talk? Yes or no?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, bet. When I say elite, I don't put everybody in that elite status. Patrick Peterson is probably, to me, one of the only true elite corners right now in this league. Now, we have guys that are on the come up, Jalen Ramsey, a few others. I even like Denzel Ward. But you have to build, huh?
You wouldn't say Jalen Ramsey is elite?
Bruh, you got to let me finish, son. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Make sure I'm hearing you.
Continue,
Jalen Ramsey not elite. He's up and coming. That's what he's saying.
Up and coming. Oh, yeah, whippersnapper. Okay, my bad. So
go ahead, Bob. Go ahead. No, because you keep cutting me off, bro. It's like I'm coming and back. It is cool, bro. It's very cool.
Go ahead.
No, because Vosh, don't
take your ball and go home, bro. Just go ahead and say what you gotta say, man.
We good, bro. Go ahead. We listen.
This my point.
Look, we listening. We just heard you say Jalen Ramsey not elite, and that kind of just struck.
I just listened. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. Y'all missing my words. I did not say he was.
My bad. That's why I was trying to clarify.
You gotta understand. When you building a case to become a lead or all of these things that we just throw out there, you have to do it for years and years and be at that level for a long time. That's all I'm saying. You can't do it for 1 year or half a season or this, that, and the third. We literally had to draft somebody for Sean Lee because he's never healthy. That doesn't make you an elite player to me. That's all I'm saying. Like, Sean Lee is a great player. I can't put him in that elite status. Luke Kuechly has been doing it since college. He was the best linebacker in college. He transitioned to the league, was the best linebacker. As soon as he got in the league playing with grown men, his body didn't have to develop. He became very, very great. And then he's still doing it. He's only not been an all-pro player 1 year. And his stats are ridiculous. And I get what you're saying, Okoye, about the games played. But if you're asking me, it's not close between Luke Kuechly and Sean Lee. That's my opinion. Everybody's saying I'm mad. That's cool. But I'm not mad. Like, I'm just telling y'all my point. That's what it is, period. So, yeah, like, if y'all think Sean Lee is elite, cool. I don't. That's it. So, yeah, like, that's it.
I just feel, and this is hypothetical, shoulda, coulda, woulda, if was a fifth. But if Sean Lee played 16 games or as many games games as Luke Kuechly, we'll be having Hall of Fame conversation about Sean Lee. That's all I'm saying.
So can I ask you this? Can I ask you this, Vach?
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
When it comes to the if, right? If let's take Bob Sanders for example.
Sure.
Bob Sanders, if he would have stayed healthy, would have been one of the greatest safeties to ever play.
Sure.
But that if is that's we gotta erase these ifs in every argument. Like
Bob Sanders was one of the best safeties that played when he was playing.
That Ed Reed and that Troy.
He wasn't better than Roy, Troy.
But that's what I'm saying.
Sean. They played while he played. Dawkins.
Okoye, let him talk.
There's no if, bro. And like everybody in the chat box, obviously I know Ramsey is a great player. He just has to continue to do it. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I think what it is.
If we're talking about Kuechly, Kuechly's been doing it now. He got 7-8 year career where he's been a top.
So is Zeke elite? I'm gonna ask you that. Is Zeke elite?
Zeke's been doing it since he got in the league.
How many years he been in the league?
He's been in the league 3 years.
Okay, how many years did Jalen Ramsey been in the league?
Jalen Ramsey been in the league 3 years.
Same amount of time. So if Zeke's elite, Jalen Ramsey's elite. Drop the mic, please.
All right, bet. But all right, son. So tell me why Sean Lee elite.
I don't want to.
I didn't say Sean Lee. I was talking about Zeke.
But remember, the initial argument is the initial argument.
You want me to know? You want to know why Sean Lee is elite? I just named why Sean Lee was elite, man. I think I proved that point. Now your opinion is that he's not. I'll let you have that. I'm not gonna argue with you on it. I think he is, and I think he is because when Sean Lee is healthy and he plays, he dominates.
The problem is he don't.
What do you mean? You just said why is he elite?
He didn't play half this year because we drafted somebody better.
You said why is he elite?
But he good. He can play good.
I said when he's on the field. I didn't say he has an elite resume.
When is he going to be on the field? That's the problem.
We already
honest. Bobby Wagner is better than Sean Lee too. Like young. We got to start keeping it real.
Okay, let's throw it in there. Come on, let's be doing it. All right. Jalen is better than Sean Lee, too. So is LVE, Joe Thomas. Anybody with 2 working hamstrings is better than Sean Lee. Let's just get that out on the table so we can say that. All I'm saying to you is when Sean Lee is healthy, Sean Lee is a motherfucking beast. And I wouldn't give a shit about Luke Kuechly if Sean Lee were healthy. So if you say I can't use the word if, then I will take if off the equation, right? And I would say as it stands today, just like I started off saying, as it stands today, I wouldn't want to see Sean Lee start this season because he will hold up the progress of whoever's coming behind him. But if Sean Lee were healthy, I wouldn't have a problem with Sean Lee against anybody in this league. That's very clear. I mean, we on the same page.
They said
right here, fellas. Let's go ahead and cut that off right here, fellas. We've been on live.
Leave foot's alone.
I want a yes or a no. I don't want an explanation. I just want a yes or a no. Foots, is Sean Lee on his team next year?
No.
Koya, is Sean Lee on his team next year?
Nah. We already started off saying that. Yeah, no.
Man, we love to hold on to these players, man. He's on his team. 7 million strong. We gonna hold on to everlasting arms.
Keep Sean Lee off the bridge. Let's move on, man. I knew we was gonna fuss about this.
I just want to know. I just want people to answer. Is there ever a question of Luke Kuechly ever getting his job taken?
They call him Sean Lee, Mr. Glass Lee. Man, y'all wrong for that, man.
Hey man, Law,
that was a good movie, man. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie. Yeah.
Like I don't get that.
First, I will say this: that Luke has he has had his availability issues too. Not on the same level as Sean Lee, where it feels like we're missing him for large chunks of the game. But Luke Kuechly does have his head injuries that kind of take him out. Every year seems like, you know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna act like
a whole linebacker to replace Sean Lee. That's not even a question in Carolina.
I totally agree. But Luke Kuechly does have his head injury issues. He does have concussion issues. He did wake up on the field crying one day asking where I'm at. He does that a bunch. I'm not saying who's better though, but I'm just saying that on that topic of availability, Luke is kind of we was having questions about is he gonna play ever again because it's his ninth concussion. You know what I'm saying? We were saying that. But we moving on from linebackers. We don't want to touch on it no more. We're moving on. Miss Abel in the chat box. What's up, Lady Bug? How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, it's some clowns in this chat box. Too.
I don't have clowns. You read Law Nation chat box. That is not. Come on,
niggas, wow.
A dog holler when it's hurt.
Come on.
Hold on. No, it's not that. Y'all just not from where I'm from. That's
why you mad, man. Stop it. Stop going to war with these people, man. Stop it.
Slide, man.
Stop going to war with these people. I'm fucking with you, man.
Nah, it's not that, but I don't do all that internet like that.
What's the internet fucking? Oh shit!
I don't do that, bro.
Shit! God damn! Puts from the DMV. He about to bust a cap in somebody's ass.
We're gonna move on because we don't want to do that right now. Let's talk about wide receivers. Y'all trying to get Cole Beasley up out of here?
Nope. Leave Cole alone, man.
Leave him
Cole
alone,
too, man. Leave Cole alone. After that knee, you see what Cole did at the end of the season, man, versus the Giants. Leave Cole alone.
But Cole saying he wants some more passes. You know what I'm saying?
He needs some more balls. Pause. He do need some more passes though. That's real shit. But I don't think he's gonna get it here.
How many more though? Because he had 70 last year, and I think for his spot, I think 70 is pretty adequate.
Oh yeah, 70 receptions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's damn good.
Damn good. Then Gallup surging, and Coop's gonna do Coop things. He's gonna have a full year. I think.
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing somebody a little more dynamic if we went and found one playing that slot position. But if not, then I'm good with Cole. Cole's like Edelman. He's just a trusty. He's like a trusty steed, man. He's gonna be right there.
Foots.
What's the question?
Stay out the chat box, Foots.
I'm about to cut these niggas up. I want to see what these niggas look like.
We're here live. We also cross posting to Cowboys Experience. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the thing.
Let's go.
I'm gonna give it to them. Cameras don't
let's go.
That's what I do. So I see Carl Element in that joint. I
Where my AR, man?
Do not do that.
But you gotta stop, man. No. You gotta stop, man.
Rucker, who are you? Boy.
It's like an intervention going on.
Boy, you know it's bad when they say where they're from. You know it's bad.
My man ain't talking about boy.
I'm from Wakanda.
Your name Carl
Element. Man, I'm from Brewster Place, man.
My man sound like he a ref. Carl Element, report to the game. This is your second game.
Foots, leave him alone. Foots.
Yeah, hey, Foots, over here in the chat box over here, they said, man, they got all love for you, especially Ty Jefferson. Whole bunch of people, man, showing their love and adulation towards you, man.
I want Sports Guru to call in because that's the one thing you could type, but I want these Bammers to call in and debate. Because it's a different. You gotta talk that talk. You hear me?
DMV word for people who corny.
What if he's from Delaware? What if I don't know where these people from?
Bama. They call them Bamas.
No,
my college roommate was from DC. He used to call me a Bama, and I'm from Philly.
I ain't tripping off the chat box. It's just fun to me. It's all fun. I was talking about I'm trying to fight. I would never fight y'all. I love y'all. We debate. That's what we do all day.
You can't call me no.
You hear me? That's what you doing.
You can't call me no.
If you can't debate on the East Coast, then you wouldn't make it over here. We ain't about all that. No, like you wouldn't make it. And that's all I'm gonna say. But all right, let's get back to football. Y'all right.
We talk about Cole Beasley first from DC.
Cole gone. Cole Beasley. Cole gone. Cole out there.
Why you going first? You want to draft somebody new?
Nah,
Andy Renfro.
I want to give Cedric Wilson a chance to develop.
That's real talk.
Okay.
Real talk. We got a lot of guys.
He's another injured motherfucker, right? He can't.
I agree.
He need to get on the field, but I'm not. I mean, he had one though, so let's see what he does this year. Maybe he can come back from that.
I think Cooper Gallup, Noah Brown is going to work his way into the fold and all that. Cedric, I think we got guys that can play. So I would probably draft, one more guy or something like that because I don't think Cole or Terrence Williams make it. I'm interested in keeping Tavon, right? Just for like kick return purposes or whatever.
No. I like him in the field.
Can I say? I see what Foot's talking about. Can I finish? I see what Foot's talking about. That's what Foot's talking about.
I'm sorry.
Plus, I would love to see what Tavon can do with Cooper on the field. So we'll just cross that road. Now, Okoye, I see what Foot's talking about. Now, Okoye, go ahead. Okoye.
But do I have the floor? That's
I guess. Go ahead.
Look at me.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Okoye, go ahead, man.
No, basically,
I don't agree. Go ahead. No. See, you hate that.
I don't even remember.
You can't stand it. Who was talking about wide receivers and Tavon Austin?
I like Tavon stretching the field, man. I think Dak to Tavon early on in the season was deep anyway. It was a good connection. So him with Cooper on the field would be crazy. I think so too. But I don't know.
Here's another thing about Cole. I really don't think that Cole and Dak have the best rapport. Either that or it's something like Cole really be taking slight shots at Dak though. Like more or less. Especially that front office jab, I ain't like that. Cause my thing is like, Cole, why would the front office not want you to get the ball? You know what I'm saying? And you had a chance to be that guy and you weren't that guy. So it's just one of those things. Like I was having this talk with somebody with my kids train at kids I coach, and we were talking about the difference between Julian Edelman and Cole Beasley. And it's like whenever I see Cole Beasley get hit, I just don't feel like he's gonna get up for real. True. When I see Julian Edelman get hit, now obviously he got in trouble. But when I see Julian Edelman get hit, I just see him pop right up like it's nothing for real. So
true.
I don't think Cole back. I think that was the last straw, especially with that front office stuff.
But if you look at Julian Edelman and if you look at Cole, they two different, structured wise, built differently.
Yeah.
I mean, Julian and Ryan Switzer are built similar, but Cole is a little small dude, man. If you see him in real life, you probably won't notice him. So and they putting him as 5'8", 180 pounds. Maybe that's give or take. Maybe that's with some wet clothes on and some bricks in his pocket. So when he take a hit, he do take a beating. And Cole is strong though. You can see Cole go across the middle. He just going to get up slow.
I mean, he tough, man. I like Cole. He tough. I think he probably is going though, just for the fact that I think the youth is winning over. But I wouldn't mind if he somehow found a way to stay on the team either. I like him as a player, but I just don't think business wise he'll be it.
Yeah, it's just writing on the wall. Him and Sean Lee gone right.
Plus he about 29ish, so he definitely bumps up the average of the youth age of this team. So and there's a lot of guys in his draft that can play play slot. They're nuanced route runners that catch the ball. My thing with Cole is we see Cole get caught from behind the bunch, and I would like to see a little more explosion. I would like to see a little more yak on the back end. Cole got that one move we kind of catch and change direction and like somebody might miss. If that person missed, I want my to take the ball to the house if he can make one person miss and not get caught by that same person he just made miss. So,
and then also, guys, follow what Will McClay is trying to do collectively, and just look at it. The last few receivers that we did drafted, they was all 6 foot and above. So I'm looking at like you said, the Cedric Wilsons of the world. Even when we did the acquisition of getting Allen Hurns, who was quote unquote an inside guy. So hey, it may be one of those things where they still may go grab a guy in this draft. And it's going to be Cole replacement. Shout out to Cole, but I think that they looking at long term and they saying what would help out Dak Prescott better. A taller target, a guy with a higher catch radius that can run inside and outside, who can play inside in those positioning. So just look for them to look for something like that down this line. That's just my opinion. Shout out to Rob S on my Periscope, man. Shout out to you though.
I feel like we don't even talk about Terrence Williams no more. Like, what the hell he doing?
Yeah,
That's a good question there.
He just got hurt. He hurt his
He hurt
foot.
again?
Well, I'm saying I think he was hurt from that same thing that he was hurt from earlier. Like I don't think Terrence has been kicked off the team or nothing like that. But then again, I don't know. Somebody in the chat box let me know. But I just know he just kind of crashed the Lambo and I ain't heard nothing else from him. So I mean, I don't know.
He will. Sorry, he out.
No, he's sorry.
But like, I'm sorry. Terrence Williams. He not sorry, but I knew they would upgrade. It's over. The way it has. I don't even like. Again, I don't know why the Cowboys would ever try to have a rotation of receiver with a quarterback like Dak. Like, it's not. He just isn't there yet. You gotta have. I'm glad that Mike Gallup is developed. So that's why I think another year with Gallup and Cooper on the outside, it would really be. I don't know. It would be well served to have. You can get away with Cedric Wilson. He did it some at Boise State. He actually ran good deep routes.
That's what he reminded me of too.
I think he's a little bit more instinctual.
I haven't seen enough of him to know, but that's his body. Well, like I'm talking about his body type, his speed, and way he move.
Let me see.
You T. Will about the paint because he was dating and broke up with her.
Yeah, T. Will base salary for 2019 is 3.5. Okay, I'm looking up this thing. It's on overthecap.com. If you cut him, you would save 2.2. You'll save about $2.5 million. So, I think that he's maybe gone, guys.
Yeah. Get him up out of there. We got 2 more positions to go, and let's get into them. I'm gonna say this one for last because I like to fuss on that. Let's get into DBs. Y'all want to make any big changes to DB? I feel like when it's time to pay AB, I think he's going to be about to pay. There's probably going to be a brand new nickel corner ready to play. Jordan Lewis, maybe we'll cross that road when we get there. People trying to get Jeff Heath about the paint. There's a safety that's leaving Seattle. People think about paying. There's a couple safeties in this draft you could think about going towards. Law Nation, what you think about the current DB spot here in Dallas?
There's going to be one more battle. This is the battle to the fittest. It's the battle to the end. AB versus Jordan Hip Pocket Lewis. One of those guys are pretty much on a trading block, and if not, they're going to have to fight for their positioning. I think that Chris Richard liked the physicality of AB. I think that he liked his 4.3 speed that he utilizes out there in the field. Now, AB stepped it up, and I'm giving him that nickname because I said he earned it. Anthony Brown, for those who don't know. Jordan Lewis, he may be the guy that's going to be trade bait, or he may be the guy that's hard out the paint. That's just my opinion.
I just want to keep
Cheeto Awuzie. He's going to be solid. He improved towards the latter part. Byron Jones, we already know we're not going to move and touch him because he got all of the measurables that Richard love. And Xavier Woods, he's the interchangeable guy. He's more on the safety side. So I'm looking at either AB is going to be on this team or Jordan Lewis, but I don't think both of them going to be. So it's going to be between the toss-up between those two.
Why can't we keep both of them?
Because they're going to try to say, okay, maybe in this draft, a Juan Thornhill, whoever, somebody that they might go out there and snatch up in the draft that they got all of the measurables and the height and the length and the strength that he want more than he, it's just one of those things where they're going to look at that. And then we already know youth prevails over everything. And I think that with Stephen Jones, he's going to try to make some type of trade situation out of it. There are going to be some teams out there that's going to say, okay, I love AB or I love Jordan Lewis. And they're going to try to make that thing happen. And we're going to make something from it.
I'd be mad as hell because if anything happened to any one of them outside corners, boy, would we be happy to have Jordan Lewis on this team.
Oh, facts.
And you know what, True that. You know what, and hold on. I ain't talking to you when I say this, not you, Law. But there are some Cowboy fans that just want to get rid of everybody we not using.
Right.
Man, there's this thing called depth to where once upon a time we ain't have it, and we was shit out of luck when we needed it and we didn't have it. Right. You know what I'm saying? All these people trying to get Taco about the paint. Man, if something happened to D-Law's back or Randy Gregory's mental health or something, it'll be nice to have that guy. Or something happened to Cheeto because he got hurt his rookie year. right up in there. Not you, Law, but man, we got to quit just trying to get rid of people just to say we getting rid. Oh, we can get rid of Jordan Lewis, get a first round pick. No, you're not. In real life, you'll probably get a fourth. You'll probably get a fourth, and Jordan Lewis is more valuable to you than a fourth. Stop it.
Y'all better start knocking on some wood right now, though.
I got a brand new wood table. I'm knocking on this shit. Go ahead, Okoye.
No, I was just gonna say it's gonna be an interesting draft because this year we have so much balance on this team. Mm-hmm. We're in a position to literally go after the best players available. So you don't know who's gonna be here out of any of the guys we named because they might have a solid position at this point, but who knows who we go after in the draft? Like we can really go after talent over positional need at this point. I don't think we have a glaring need. I think we go after, like we said, a backup for Zeke, but we can find that either free agency, pick it up as a vet, pick up a vet later on.
For like 2 seconds, just 2 seconds. Can I cut you off? Then we played Alvin Kamara. It was good to have Jordan Lewis. Yeah. Boy, when we needed somebody to cover his ass, we just looked right on the pine, right on the side.
Yeah.
Come on. My bad. Go on, man. My bad.
No, I agree with you. That's what I said. I don't really know. Like, I don't know what we're gonna have because we don't know how we're gonna attack the draft. I think we're gonna go after the best players available. But other than a backup for Zeke and maybe a tight end if we could find one good enough to go after, I think any other position is up for grabs. Mm-hmm. Is up for grabs as far as starters are concerned. Other than linebackers, which I think we got our starters good. But everywhere else, defensive backs. Our defensive line, we can fill it anywhere on those any of those positions.
Foots from DC. What you think about the cornerback position?
Are we doing the whole?
Let's do cornerback since we all doing cornerbacks, and then we'll defend or fuss at Jeff Heath.
All right, bet. Because that's where I'm going. So
let's go.
If y'all really want. If y'all really want to see me turn up, then yeah. But as far as a cornerback, I mean, I kind of lean towards you, Vach. I mean, it's a good problem to have as far as you. I mean, if I didn't have to do anything, I wouldn't. I mean, I know we didn't see Jordan Lewis as much, but I think that just pure coverage, Jordan Lewis may be the best corner as far as go cover somebody. I think he may be one of the best corners, if not the best corner on this team. But obviously the size but I just love Jordan Lewis all the way when he was playing in Michigan with that one-handed pick. I mean, everything that I just like the player. But I mean, Anthony Brown did play good, and he's definitely like a zone player. I think if you can, you try to keep both, like you said, depth. So I mean, it's not a bad thing to have great.
Yeah, let me throw a curveball at you right quick, and I know you've been scouting and evaluating this guy, Adderley, and I know we don't supposed to have time for this, but if we snatch him in the draft, what would you do with Jordan Lewis' skill set? I'm not saying that Adderley is better than Jordan Lewis, but what I'm saying is, what would you think of AB and Jordan Lewis and Adderley?
Jordan.
Hold on. Watch this though, Law.
Mm-hmm. Jordan.
I'll give you another name, and this happens all the time throughout the draft season. So Adderley, he went to the Senior Bowl. He's the hot name that all the media types love. I'm gonna be real with you. If you watch play for play, tape for tape, I think that Taylor Rapp is better. That's me. And I text Vosh that the other day, and then Vosh said, "Well, I'm gonna wait till the combine." But to me, I like the way that Taylor Rapp can come down. He can guard receivers, and it's not like he can just guard them. Like, he can erase receivers. He's a great blitzer. He did it at the highest level. Mm-hmm. Can't forget that. The height is an issue for some. It will probably be an issue for this team. Mm-hmm. But it's something about that damn Taylor Rapp. I was on him last year before the season started. I watched him. He didn't let me down this year. I think that Taylor Rapp is by far – I'm not going to say by far, but when we get into the safeties – I'll talk more about it, and I got a mock draft coming out on my channel.
Let's do it right now. See, first, what I was saying about waiting on the combine, and we're going to get right out of draft talk. I promise. I just want to make this point. Is I just want to see how Rapp moves when he's not comfortable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Washington puts him in great – I don't want to say he's a system guy because he's not. But I want
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him be in a bad position, recover, and keep his hips. That's all I want to see. We talked about it on our draft show or whatever. He's kind of like a Buda Baker type of guy. You know what I mean?
And that's go ahead.
And that's very valuable to us. So what Law was saying, whether it be Taylor Rapp or Adderley, what both those guys do well is that they can play free, strong, and nickel. So they wouldn't necessarily affect Jordan Lewis and AB directly. They'll be more so getting Jeff Heath up out the paint, but it may be like a dime look or something. They can bring those guys down. So with that being said, first of all, I got a super chat real fast. I got a dime in the super chat. I watched too much of your film not to drop a dime. Keep up the good luck, get good work. Salute. Frank Mason III, salute to you, sir. Let's get into safety then. So and y'all know free and strong safety the same thing with us.
I was just about to say, so that's my point. That's right. Kind of why I like Rap is because while we try to, so what the Cowboys do is sometimes they try to project position flex when sometimes the player just doesn't have that. And maybe they've done it once, but they haven't done it at a high level all the time in college. When I look at Rap, I see a guy who, if he can play single high, he can come down in the box, he can tackle well, and he's not like, dive at ankle type guy and not really want no smoke. That's what we tell our kids, like, you duck and bump. You can't duck. When you come to practice, if you ducking, you not playing. Like, so I don't look at him as that type of a player. And like you said, the biggest thing as a safety is awareness. And Jeff Heath does make plays, but I just can't get that image of him taking the bait on a slow-ass Jared Goff. And literally, I'm like, are you serious? Yeah. And that play was so pathetic.
That did it for you, Foots? That was the one play that got
but you know what's funny? But you know what's funny?
That got away.
But you know what, Law?
What's up?
The whole panel, Okoye, I don't want to cut Jeff Heath. I just don't want him as a starter. Like, I want him on my team.
Facts.
I just don't want him as a starter. That's me.
Right.
So I'll shut up.
I don't care if he starts.
I love Jonathan Abram.
Just as long as we don't have anybody who should be starting over him on the team. But as it stands right now, I like him as a starter over Frazier. If we go after Earl Thomas, then I still like him as a starter because I think Earl Thomas would take Woods and throw him into a rotation with Heath, depending on what packages we running. But I think Heath would be relegated to like being that box safety if Earl Thomas makes it to the roster. So I mean, I still think he still has starting capabilities, man. He just had he gives us, I don't want to say Dave Chappelle's joke here, but he definitely gives us more positives than negatives, in my opinion. He got a boneheaded player this year. He had a couple last year, but he gave you great plays too. So,
but he saves.
He saves. There you go.
I got you. He saves. Law Nation, you trying to get Jeff Heath about the paint?
Man, I want to get so much competition on Jeff Heath. You can find somebody.
He's a big brother almighty.
Oh, right.
I've been thinking all day about cutting Jeff Heath.
Been thinking, good day, sir. Hey, but my thing is with Jeff, man.
My turn yet.
Can't wait to talk about how much I can't stand that much.
Like you said, man, all last year and year before that, and I think some years before that, Jeff Heath at the last 2 minutes of anybody's game, you want him in on the field, right? But it's like throughout the whole entire game, you kind of have cause to pause. You're sitting there saying, hey, man, that was very J.J. Wilcox of you on that. Hey, man, that looked like Brandon Carr for that play. And then also you see, hey, Jeff, come on, man, come on. But towards the latter part of the game and the crunch time, Jeff Heath steps it up and he picks it up and everything like that. Yeah. So for a rotational piece, that's what I would want Jeff Heath to be at. So can he be still on his team come next year? Yes, he's only 27, 6'1", 212 pounds. Keep him on the team. And then also he can play special team. But outside of that, let's better the best. Let's better this positioning. That's my thoughts. That's my opinions of Jeff Heath.
So again, I think people got to really go back and remember the importance of what a safety is. Like a safety, especially like you're strong, has to be other than your linebackers, your best tackler on the field. Like
Mm-hmm.
he has to be.
He's a solid tackler.
He's an okay tackler.
He takes
Sometimes
bad angles, but when he gets
but
there,
that's what we teach our kids. Like we have this level, this chart that we go by. It's the 5 fights of tackling. Ankles are really I think that's part of being a tackler. Like the problem with it's just at times he just doesn't have a feel. And the thing that I like about rap so much, and you know who has it too? I was just in the chat box. I like Jonathan Abram a lot. The problem with Jonathan Abram is he takes bad angles at times too, Vach. Mississippi State, yeah. Mississippi State safety. He's good, Law, and Okoye. I don't know where y'all at on your draft coverage, but he's a really good player. But his film, like one game, he really looks like he's better than all of these players that I want to draft. But then there's other games where he's kind of arm tackling, he's taking bad angles, so the consistency is not there with them. That's why I like rap so much, because I've seen him do it at a high level. And I get what you're saying, Vach, about Chris Peterson. But here's my thing, though. Sure. The Cowboys love Chris Peterson. They trust the type of players that he coaches in college. Sure. So, I mean, it's one of those situations to where, like, I would 100% draft. I would trade up for a safety this year, just because I think that's the missing piece on this defense for me. I know other people may think D tackle, but I think that if you had a real safety who you could do some things, because I don't want to take X Woods off the field. I just want to play him in a different position.
Why you weird?
I think if you just hold your guns, I don't think any of these safeties go first round. I think it'll be close.
Ooh, gosh, Adderley gonna go. Adderley gone, dog.
If he does, it'll be like 30 something or like late 20s. I do think Taylor Rapp could fall to us, or
you gotta watch Tennessee. Not Tennessee. You gotta watch Carolina. Vach. Gotta watch Carolina. I feel you.
Sure.
Like I in my mock, that's what I feel you. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. We'll see. That's another show though. That's another show. we got time. We got time. The last one, and I don't know if y'all want to like maybe take calls after this, like the last 5 minutes. You know, Fuss want to fuss at old boy.
I ain't fussing nobody. I just want, man. If you go to debate, let's debate.
Fair enough. But this the last one. I say that I think it's the best for last because I'm more likely to get in my bag, and if it gets terrible, I will come out this.
My man.
Okoye, don't ruin this friend. For real. Offensive line, man. You know, the more I think about it, bro, I think there's a lot of offensive linemen in this draft, man. We can get a good one, second round, third round, maybe. I got my favorites. I got my guys that I think could fall to the second round, but bro, Dak was the second most sacked quarterback in the National Football League, dog. And I know it's very attractive and very Cowboy fan like to say, boy, let's go get a safety, or let's go get a tackle or something like that. And I know drafting O-line ain't sexy, man, but Zeke running through the damn Red Sea that's sexy to me. You know what I'm saying? Or damn Dak Prescott having 7 seconds to throw. That's sexy to me. We know Dak Prescott is developing. And what I speak for all Cowboy Nation that we want fourth quarter Dak to be all quarter Dak. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's gonna develop into that. And I think one way we got to do that, we see that we give him a receiver, it look a little different. You know what I'm saying? Things kind of shake up in this place. Everything else falls into place. I think the more help we get Dak, you know what I'm saying, the better he looks. The damn defense is fine. The defense is top 10 with Jeff Heath and Antoine Woods and Malik Collins. You know what I mean? We can add depth as we whatever. But when Foot say let's go get a second running back, I'm with you. When y'all want to go get a slot receiver that can, whatever, with that. You know what I mean? Let's get some O-line help in here too. You know what I mean? I think O-line is the only position. I'm talking to y'all too, and I'm talking to my panel too now. And I've seen all y'all do it at some point. I'm fussing now. The O-line is the only position where people get away with, oh, he played well at the end of the season. He can start next year. Get that shit up out of here. Because there are points in the season where Jeff Heath played well, and we push him up off the bridge. Or Antoine Willis played well. We want to push him up off the bridge. I like Cam Fleming, and sure, he's serviceable. I don't want serviceable. I want gangsters. Suafilo he trashed to me, but to some people, he's serviceable. I don't want serviceable. I want